Rusty. That might be better. Maybe. Still have some shadowish over here. All right. We have up to 2 puzzles today. I looked at the counter before I started here. I said an hour in, 54 minutes in on the puzzle that we tried to solve yesterday. I cleared all the information off of it, and so I just wiped the puzzle. I will look at solving that. We can add that 54 minutes in after we solve this one. If I get this one solved inside of an hour, if this takes more than an hour to solve this one, well, it takes more than an hour. We'll have to live with that. Okay, that's a 5. That's 7, 3, and 4. 4, 9, 2, 3, 8, 7, 6. And that's all of the numbers. So let's see if it validates. If it does, you get 20 seconds to start ahead of me. There you go. Adding a video to a playlist of mine that I can watch or listen to later. All right, 30 seconds then. Okay. So one of these two is a 2. 4 possibilities there. These two is a 2. 3 possibilities here. And 3 possibilities here. 1. We got 2 possibles for a 1 here. Here, 5 possibilities, 4 possibilities, and now 6 possibilities here. Everything here is open. Everything here is open. And so, get 3s. One of these two is a 3. That's a 3, so that's not, this is. And up here, that's a 3. Down here, this becomes a 3, and hey, all the 3s are on the board. All right, how about 4s? Well, there's a 4 here, which means that can't be a 4. One of these two is a 4. One of these 3 is a 4, but that's too many. And these 3 will be a 4, and while that's too many there, it means we're down to 2 possibilities here. No. We have a 4 here. That means we've got 2 possibilities down here. All right. Anything else? One of these 3. I've got 2 possibilities here. 3 possibilities here. And like I've got 6 possibilities there. 5 there. All right. On to 5. Well, one of these 3 is a 5 because I've got a 5 here and another 5 here. Up here, one of these 2 will be a 5. And I've got 4 possibilities up here. Here we've got 3, which is 1 too many. Got 5 possibilities here. That's 3 too many. 7 possibilities here. 4 here. And we've looked at all the rest. What about 6s? We've got a 6 here. 6 here, 6 here, and a 6 here, which means this is a 6. Here we've got 3 possibilities. One of these two is going to be a 6. One of these two is a 6. Now, if we could narrow it down to this one here, that would help here. We'll get up to here. But for this one here, we'd end up with this one being a 6. But we can't do that yet. All right, how about 7? So this is going to be a 7. One of these two will be a 7. We've got one of these two is a 7. These two is a 7. I've got 3 possibilities down here. All right, how about 8? An 8 here and here. We've got an 8 here. That makes this an 8. One of these two is an 8. This is an 8. One of these two is an 8. I've got 3 possibilities here. All right, how about 9? We've got 2 possible 9s here. Here I've got 3 possibles. Here we've got 2 possibles and 2 possible 9s here. Three there, 3 here. Too many here. All right, since we filled in some spots, let's run through the numbers again. We've got one of these, 2 is a 1. Here I've got 5 possibilities, 4 possibilities. Here I've got all 4 of those. I've got these 2, I've got 5 possibilities here. So not a lot of help with the 1s. How about 2s? We've got 2 possibilities here. 4 possibilities here. 3 possibilities here. 2 possibilities here now. And 2 possibilities here. All right, 3. I believe 3s are all solved. Yes, 3s are solved. About 4. Got a 4 here, which blocks up these 2. We've still got these 2 marked. One of these 2 is a 4. So that 4 is there. In fact, these 3 are blocked. The 8's blocked. Those 2 possible 4s. And unfortunately, everything's open here and here. All right, how about 5s? Got a 5 down here and 1 here. One of these 3 is a 5. It'd be nice if I could narrow that down up here. But I don't have enough narrow down ability. These 3 is a 5. I've got 4 possibilities here. 2 possibilities here. 4 possibilities here. All right. Again with the 6s. I've got 3 possibilities here for 6. One of these 2 is a 6. A 6 there. One of these 2 is a 6. This 6 means that I've got 3 possibilities here. All right, sevens. Unfortunately, I got 3 possibilities for a 7 here. It doesn't work well. About 8. One of these two is an 8. These two is an 8. Up here, those are both filled in. Those are filled in. I've got 3 possibilities for an 8 here. 2 possibilities for a 9 here. 3 possibilities for a 9 here. 2 possibilities for a 9 here and here. 3 possibilities for a 9 and 4 possibilities for a 9. 3 down here if I missed that. All right. Looks like we get to flood fill everything. Let's see if that helps us. Doesn't help us with 1s. Or 2s. Okay. 2s are on. 3s. 3s are done. 4s. These 2 is a 4. These 2 is a 4. One of these 4 is a 4. Get those 2 for a 4. And all of these for being a 4. For 5s, I get these 2. These 6s. These 6s are on. 7s. Those 2. These 3. These 2. These 2. 7s are done. 8s. These 3 is an 8. Down there and here. There. Okay. And we're down to the 9s. Those 2. All right. So 1 4 pair here means this is a 9. This cannot be a 1. That cannot be a 1. Okay, that's not going to be a 9. With 8 2 pair there, that means that's a 1. That means this is a 6. And then we're going to need to pair up with that. So 4, 1, 5, 2, 5, 7, 1, 5. This can't be a 1, so that's a 5. That makes this a 2. This a 7. Oh. Oh. We didn't get 9s in here. And because I've got a 9 here. All right, let's back out to here. There we go. All right. Yes, that is going to be a 9. And these two is a 9. Means these two cannot be a 9. Hey, this is not a 9. This is going to be a 9. 6, 5 pair here, so not a 5. Any of those, which makes this a 5. 8, 2, 8, 2, and 1 here. Not a 1 on these. Not a big surprise. End up with a 9 and a 7 here. All right. 4, 5 plus 4, 5 makes this into a 9. We can clean the 9s out of this square and out of the column. And we got a 6 demarked. Okay, this can't be a 1. Nope. That is a 1. Can't be. Makes this into a 6. Let's check that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, and 9 directly visible. So that is a 6. Not a 6. Not a 1. Not a 1 here. We got 8, 2, 8, 2 pair there. Thinking that was an 8, 2 observed earlier. All right. One 8, 1 7, 1 2, 8 2. I am going to go with this combination. That one, that one. Pick up the 8s, the 1s, and the 2s, making this one into a 7. This one's a 9. This is a 4. Not a 9 here. That's a 1 7 pair now. Oh, that 4 means this is a 5. Can't have 4 or 5 there or there now. That's a 1. Not a 1 there. 4 and 1 here. Not a 1 here. Not a 1 here. That's a 4. So not a 1. 4. That can't be that either. This is a 4. No. Hmm. 1. Not a 1, not a 1, not a 1. 4, 7, 5. Except I've got a 5 right there. Neither of these can be 5, neither can that. So that can't be a 5. All right, let's go back to wherever we set that as a 5 and back that out. Yeah, I can kind of see how that happens. That's, however, assume that's not a 9. If that's not 9, then we've got something other than 1 and 4 fitting here. Ah, this could be a 9 as well as these two. Okay, that changes things a bit. So, part of what I'm doing is just validating that I haven't left something as a break. Okay, all the rest look to be okay. Okay. Nine, 4, 5, 4, 5, 9. 5, 9, 4, 5, 9. 1, 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 9. 4, 5, 6, 9. One of these two is an 8. And these two is a 1. Whatever. Where'd that come from? You actually thought of it yourself? Okay. Let's see. Let's go with this being a 4, 9, 5. Not a 4. 5, 9 here. No, 5 and 9 can't be here or here. You say so. I don't use Windows if I don't have to. That's fine. See if you do. Okay. Your choice. Okay. Sometimes courage doesn't have anything to do with it. Okay. Nine here. And these two is going to be a 9. Whatever you say. You're the boss. Go boss somebody else. Five there doesn't belong. That means that's a 5. 2 here. Neither of those. That's not a 5 either. Not a 2 here or here. So 8, 9, 5, 9. Not a 9. Not a 9. That makes this a 9. Oh. Yeah, that's a 9. Not a 9. 1 here, 4 here. That makes this a 2. Not a 2. Not an 8. So 1, 6 there. So none of these are going to be 1. And that's not going to be 1. Those two are 1. One of these two are 1. 1, 6, 1, 6. 7, 9. Oh, not a 4. So 1 and 7. And up to 7 there, I've got a 1, 5 pair. Not a 9, so that's a 9. 1, 5 pair here means not a 1 there or there, so 4 and 7. 1 here. 5 and 1 here. 5 here. And that becomes a 4. So not a 4 here or here, that's a 4. not a 4. That's not a 4. This one is a 4. 2 here. Not a 4, so 4 here. Not a 4. 1, 6, 1, 6, 2 here. 8. Are we missing anything? So this can't be a 6. Can't be an 8 or a 2 now. Right? All right. Let's start it over. Did he rattle me? Maybe. All right. Just gonna flood fill. All right. That's 3. That's gonna be a 3. Those two is a 3. Oh, not that one. So that's a 3. That's a 3. And that means that's 3. 4. Oh, these two is a 4. These 3. These 2. These 3 is a 5. Everything's possible there. Okay, one of these 2 is a 6. 3 possible 6s up here. 3 possible 6s here. 4 possible 6s here. But these 2 can't be 6s because they're blocked out here. All right. 6 here. And on to 7s. We get a 7 here. One of these two is a 7. 7's provided here. One of these two is a 7. One of these two becomes a 7. 3 possible 7s here. And that's it. 7s. One of these 3 is an 8. One of these 3 is an 8. This is an 8, so that's not. And we've got an 8 going here. Can't be 1 8 there. One of these two is an 8. And then 9. Can't be a 9 there. So one of these two is a 9. One of these two is a 9. I'll have all 3 of these potential being a 9. 3 possibilities here. That can't be a 9. This and this are possible 9s. I've got 3 possible 9s there, and 3 possible 9s, 4 possible 9s here. All right. Okay, this is where we started. And I suggested, I believe, this one was a 4. So let's go with a 5 here. 4 and 9. Not a 9, not a 9, not a 9. Not a 5, not a 5, so 4 and 9. So not a 9 down here. That makes this into a 5. Not a 5 there, there, there. That makes this one into a 5. So not a 5 there. Not, well, for that matter, not one there either. These two is a 5, not that. And these two is a 5. Okay. Anything more with 4s I need to work with? Well, one of these two is a 4. 3 possible there. That's not a 4. That makes this into a 4. The bottom row is complete. Not a 4 here. I've got 2 possibilities here. Hey, we can clean up 4s here, I think. And that looks like what we can clean there. These two can't be 4. Hey, that can't be a 9 anymore. Turns that into a 9. Okay. We run into blocks that I can't. All right. Back to that 4, 5, 9 at the top. And instead of a 5 as the first one, we're going to go with a 9, 4, 5. So not a 4 anywhere in that area. Not a 5 here or in here. Not a 9 here, here. That means 4 and 5 here. So 4, 5 don't belong there or there anymore. 169. Let's go ahead and revalidate that. Not a 5. So that becomes a 2. That becomes an 8. This becomes a 9. So not a 9 there. That's a 9. That's a 1. This is a 2. And if the ones clean up ones here, that gets us a 4 and a 9. And we can now remove the 9s here. That 4 and that 4 are no longer valid. And we can also remove that 2. And this 9. It leaves a singleton 4 here, 1 here, 7. Not a 1. Not a 1 or a 7 here. Can't be a 9 anymore, so this is a 2. This is a 9. Let's clean up these 9s. That makes this into a 2. And these get to be cleaned up, as well as that one. Oh, hey, we got some 1s to clean up here. And here. Okay. These 2 can't be 1s. That gives me, oh, that can't be an 8. That gives me breakage up here as well. All right, so we get to go all the way back, and we're going to put a 4 where I dropped in the 9, which is going to lock in the other 2. So 4, 9, 5. 5, 5, 9. Neither 5 nor 9, neither 5 nor 9. Neither, not a 4. We got a 5, 9 pair there. So not a 5 or a 9, not a 5 there. Not a 9 here. Not a 5 there. 3 doesn't change anything. Okay. 1414752. Not a 2, not a 2. This is a 5, 9, 8, 1, 2, 4, 9, not a 9, not a 9, not a 9, 1, 5, not a 7, 1, 5, 4 here, 1 here, not a 1, not a 1, not a 1. 5 and 9. 5, 9, 4. Not a 4. 1, 5 here. Not a 2. This is a 7. That makes this a 1, 5, 1. That makes this a 9. Doesn't affect those. Not a 4 up here. 4 here. Not a 1 here or here. Also not a 7. So that's 2. Turns that into a 4. We can clean up 4. 1616 means this is a 2. Clean up 2's down here. And we got a 16 again down here. And an 8. 16 pair here. 16 pair here. That's 3 of them in a row. And we are missing now. We got the 1 and the 6. 2, 3. One of these. This one's going to be a 4. 5. The 6 is obviously 7, 8. 9. So if this is a 7, where would the 9 go? Can't be here. Can't be up here. All right. Was there a possibility with that initial set All right. So pause for a moment. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. In a moment, we'll get the puzzle going again. And we're going to try something different this time. So we get a 1, 5, or 1, 4, 5, 2, 4, 5, 4, 5, 7. Nope, that's not going to work. 1, 6 here. This has given me a little bit of a problem, so let's go with this being a 6. That means this can't be a 6. These two can't be a 6. That becomes a 6. All right. We end up 1, 2, 8, 2, 1, 2, 8. Also clean up a couple of 6s here. Leave that as a 6. Matter of fact, that is a 6. But that's not. And this is 1, 5, 9, or 1, 5, 9, 1, 5, 9. So this becomes a 7. And that's not a 7. One of these two will be a 7. One of these three has to be a 2. This has to be a 2 here. And that can't be. One of these two gets to be a 5. I've got 3 possibilities for a 5 here. One of these two is going to be a 1, so that can't be, that can't be, and that can't be. Four, 9, 7, 9, 1, 5, 4, 9, 1, 5, 4, 9, 4, 5, 7. Well, so far there were no conflicts, and everything that's left looks like it's part of possibility. So we move on to this one, and I'm going to put a 1 here. Clean up 1s here. That makes that into a 1. Clean up the 1s here. We get 5, 9, 5, 9. So that and that are no longer 5s. We've got a 1, 4, 1, 4. One of these two is a 9. Doesn't affect anything here. 1, 4, 1, 4 means this can't be a 1. We end up with a 5, 9 pair there. 1, 4, 1, 4 means not a 1, not a 4. 5, 2, 5, 2, 5 with 7 and 2 of those. Seven, 9, 7, 5, 4, 9, 4, 5, 5. Hmm. Okay. We're at the same state again, so let's drop a 1 here. That can't be a 1 now, that can't be, that can't be. That becomes an 8, 5, and 2. 4 here. 5, 9 pair there. That makes this a 4. This becomes a 1. That turns that into a 4. This turns this into a 9. Not a 9 there. One of these two will be a 9. So this is a 5. This is a 9. We'll get rid of the 9 there. We'll get rid of this 9. Okay. And this is no longer a 4, so it's 5, 4 up here. Not a 4. Not a 4 here, because this one. Not a 4 here, so that's a 4. And not an 8 in either of these. So not a 1. So this is a 2, this is a 9. 8, 1, 2, and 1 here. Not a 1, not a 1, this becomes a 7. Can't be 2, that's an 8, that's a 9. And this is a 7. This is a 1, this becomes a 5. 9 here and 5 here. 9 here, so not a 9 there, there, or there. That turns this into a 9. And this becomes, oh wait, that can't be 9. Okay, so that 1 gets to be changed to the alternative there. I think it was much further back. I think it was the one in the bottom left, the bottom right, the bottom left column. Yeah, that one. So this becomes a 2, not a 2, not a 2, not a 2. And a 1, a 2 is one of those two, but it can't be that. That's a 2. All right. 1, 8, 1, 8, 4, 1, 4, 5, 4, 5. 4, 9. Okay. Hmm. I have one here versus a one here. 5, 5, and 8 here. Turns that into a 4. 5, 9, 5, 9. This is a 4. Okay, that makes this a 1. Not a 1 here or here. Turns that into a 9. 8, 2, 1 here. 5, 9, 5, 9. Not a 9 up here. 9 becomes there. Neither of these are 9. So that's not a 5. That's not a 5. That's not a 5. That's a 9. Not a 9. Oh, not a 1 here. No. Not a 1 here. 7 and 2 here. And this becomes a 4. 5 and 9 here. Not a 4. Not a 4. Is that a 4? This becomes a 7. 1 and 5. And not a 7. So that's a 9. A 4, 5 here. And that becomes a 4. Not a 1. Not a 9, so that's a 7. Not a 4, so I got 1 8, so that can't be an 8, so that's the 1. That's an 8. This becomes a 4 and a 5 here. And that's not a solve. And that's over an hour. Let's see, can I spot where my problem? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, and 9. So that's where the problem is. This can't be an 8. If this is an 8. All right. So here we've got another one I get to solve another time. 2 hard puzzles stumped me for the first hour. Both of them today. Cleaning this one out. We're going to pause it. I will take a run at it again. Maybe tomorrow morning. We'll see. Or Sunday morning. But now I got to go post the Sunday puzzle. And we'll try to do the solutions for these 2 hard puzzles out of the normal cycle. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. we look forward to chatting with you again.